Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown. I'm Matthew Peterson. Coming up on today's show is Aaron Rodgers, the top trade target for GM George Paton, or is it Russell Wilson? Because this is going to be a couple of shows in a row where I've mentioned Russ, but a new kind of story rumor came out just yesterday that brings him right back to the surface. And then we'll wrap up today's show looking at the latest coaching search news and update on that front, because none of this matters until the head coach is put in place. But before we get into the meat of today's show, do you want the Broncos to trade for a quarterback? Whether that is Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, hopefully one of the first two names I said. If you do want to see that happen, go ahead and like today's video. I can't promise it's going to bring a quarterback, but I can say if you're just a little stitious, it can't hurt. So go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let's get into the first story, though. Aaron Rodgers. So he is rumored to be the Broncos' top trade target, actually. Now, this all comes because Aaron Rodgers had the falling out with the organization last offseason. Of course, we all know the Broncos were in the sweepstakes to try and lure him out of Green Bay. Nothing ever happened, but it was almost as if the two sides in Lambeau agree in Green Bay, this will be your last year. Try to win a Super Bowl, and then we'll move on from there. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't really gone to plan for the Broncos' plan of getting Rodgers out of Green Bay, because they're the one seed in the NFC and probably the team to beat in the NFL. I honestly don't even know what the ideal outcome is in the playoffs to make Aaron Rodgers want to leave Green Bay. Is it win a Super Bowl and he'll go out on a high note and then go to a new team? Or is it losing the NFC Championship game like the last 2 years, so he's frustrated and wants to leave town immediately? Now, Mike Lissy went on a radio show 104.3, The Fan, talked about this, and here's what he had to say. The Broncos are looking at Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I think there's a big four. Those two, with Rodgers being head and shoulders plan A. Wilson, plan B. Garoppolo and Cousins in that next group. Also, I guess the reason why you'd sell yourself on Garoppolo and Cousins is there's still a step up from what you've got, but you wouldn't have to give up all your assets to get him. He's not wrong, right? I do think that that Garoppolo and Cousins are better than Drew Lock. I'm sorry, I know there's some real big Drew Lock lovers out there, but I think it's no doubt a bigger step up from what you have. Now, a trade for Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. There's simply no other way around it. It is not going to be a cheap thing. Now, the Broncos have been hanging around GM George Paton in Green Bay, talking to their GM, talking to their OC, Nathaniel Hackett, and their quarterback coach, Luke Getsy. I wonder if they're not pawns in this to try and get Aaron Rodgers to Denver, but they're probably a step up. Maybe they're bishops, rooks, knights, whatever you like to play with in chess. I don't think they're queens, but I do wonder if the idea is if we hire Nathaniel Hackett to be the head coach and we make Luke Getsy the offensive coordinator for him in Mile High. Aaron Rodgers then wants to trade. His number one target has to be the Broncos. He has familiarity now with the new head coach, the new OC. He's kind of just going from Green Bay, a crappy town in Wisconsin, to a huge step up in Denver, Colorado. I think that's what it has to be, at least in my mind. But between Rodgers and Russell Wilson, who's a better quarterback? Who would you rather have for the Denver Broncos? Let me know. Give me an AR for Rodgers or give me an RW for Wilson. This will be the pinned comment, so if a YouTube ad break comes on by, use that as an opportunity to scroll on down and get your votes in. I've said it before, and I'm going to stick by Russell Wilson. And he also, well, not he, but some new trade rumors come out we'll talk about in a moment. But I like Russell Wilson just by a hair because of the age factor. Because Aaron Rodgers is 39 years old. And you just worry if you get 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a starting player for Rodgers, and he comes to Denver, and they go 10-7, and they look a little underwhelming. And he's like, dude, I have all the money. I've got 1 Super Bowl, maybe even 2 Super Bowl rings at this point. I'm going to kind of check out. Sorry, Denver, I'll screw you over. Wilson looks like he wants to play for another 10 years. So, the Russell Wilson trade rumors, they are B-A-C-K, back, because they never cease to fully go away. That started all last offseason when Russ was kind of flirting with the idea of leaving Seattle, and then you kind of add on to that by a very underwhelming this year for the Seahawks. And I do think Denver would be one of his top trade destinations. Chicago was rumored last year. They got Justin Fields. That's probably not going to happen. The Jets, they got Zach Wilson. I doubt that could happen. But maybe I could see, I guess, either of those teams trading a rookie quarterback for Russ. That'd be nothing ever like that, I don't think, in the NFL. The Giants, for sure, they would move on from Daniel Jones to get Russell Wilson. But Ian Rappaport over the weekend put the story out about Russell Wilson trade speculation. Here's what he had to say in the article. Wilson has not demanded a trade, and it's not clear if he will. But at the least, those close to Wilson say he wants to investigate other destinations to see if those would put him in a better position to win another championship and create the legacy he sees for himself. End quote. What I'm looking at there is two big things. Those close to Wilson and other destinations. Those close to Wilson tell me Russ goes out to the media and he says, I don't want to get traded. I want to win a Super Bowl in Denver. And then Russ turns to his agent and tells his agent, I actually don't want to be here. Can you write it on a napkin and slide it across the table to some beat reporter and have him put it out, but say it didn't come from me and just someone close to me so I don't look bad? Russ, just admit it. Just come out and say, yeah, I'm open to being traded. I'm tired of him being, a bit of a schoolgirl about this. Snip, snap, snip, snap, in and out, in and out, in and out. All right, Katy Perry, hot and cold. Just say you want to come and you want to explore what the trade market would look like. And if you don't like it and you want to stick with Seattle, people will be upset for a day, and then they'll move on with it. But just admit that you are interested. If a trade does happen, by the way, make sure you go ahead and get on the Broncos Breakdown here at Chat Sports by subscribing, joining the channel, helping us get to 6,000 subscribers. We crossed 5,000 not long ago. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red button. This is the YouTube cliche part, and subscribe to the channel today to get the latest Broncos offseason news, because if they trade for Russell Wilson, you better believe we'll have a video about it. All right, let's move on to the latest coaching search carousel going on in Denver. What's the latest on that front? Over the weekend, a couple of interviews took place by George Paton, and he's got a couple more lined up because a bunch of teams that he was talking to were still in the playoffs, and now those teams are out of the playoffs. So we'll get to all that in just a second. But BetUS is our sportsbook partner today, and here's the deal with BetUS. You've heard me talk about this before if you've seen the show. They give you a 125% deposit bonus for all new users for going to chatsports.com/bet. Using that promo code Broncos125. We all know we're going to bet on the Super Bowl. So get your picks in now, because here's why. Look at the Super Bowl odds at the moment, okay? This is over at BetUS. With every round that goes on, they're only going to get worse in terms of a payout, okay? So if you've got a gut feeling that one of these teams or someone else like the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, get the pick in now, because here's why. Let's say you think, I would never say the Chiefs, let's say you think the Bucs are going to run it back. Plus 500 today. You put $10 down, you're winning 50. If you wait till Super Bowl Sunday to make that bet, you'll bet $10 to win 13 or 14. This is the best value you're going to get. It's only going to get worse week after week, so get those picks in now. That way on Super Bowl Sunday, you got the best payout at your Super Bowl watch party. Let's go back to the coaching search. So, this past weekend, Peyton was on the PJ. He was flying around. He was busy. Went to Detroit, talked to their DC, Aaron Glenn, and then after that, traveled up north to Green Bay. He talked to the QB coach, Luke Getsy, and then he talked to the OC, Nathaniel Hackett. And the rumor is that Dan Quinn is next in line, and they want to get this done ASAP as possible. So, I've seen plenty of things out there that Dan Quinn is the number one target for the Denver's head coaching gig. They want to make this interview as soon as possible. Now, if you watched football over the weekend, which I hope you did, you would have seen that the Cowboys defense did Dan Quinn no favors in his resume and pitch to be a head coach again. They collapsed against the 49ers. We won't recap it all here because that's not our channel. But if you do like that, head on to the Cowboys or 49ers report at Chat Sports. But Dan Quinn, he did no favors for himself, like I said, in the wild card matchup against San Francisco. And I still think that it's not going to just go out the window because of one poor performance. But I do think that had to have helped Hackett's pitch to be the number one guy. So here are the 10 names the Denver Broncos are going to interview or / have already started interviewing for the head coaching opening. I've got them ranked in my preference from 10 to 1. Getsy, Glenn, and Mayo, and Gannon, and O'Connell. Those are names I think they're talking to, not in serious consideration to be the head coach, but a little bit of could they be a good coordinator? And could they be something in the future, right? Heard their name talked about in league circles. Let's at least go face-to-face and see if they're a rising name in the NFL coaching circles. Now, top 5 here. I genuinely think all 5 of these guys could be the next Broncos head coach. Brian Callahan may be the only one sticking out a little bit because he's still very young at 39 and is not even the play caller in Cincinnati. But 4 through 1, absolutely. I originally had Moore as 2 and Hackett as 3. I flip-flopped them after yesterday's Cowboys performance. And I know I just said don't read too much into one bad game, but the Cowboys offense was bad, right? For one-word reaction, bad. And they've kind of looked bad at one too many points this season. So who do you want the Broncos to hire? Who is your top guy out there? Let me know what you're thinking. I love to see what you guys what you guys say in the comment section below. That's what makes Chat Sports so innovative and so new and so great, is that it's a two-way conversation. It's not just a talking head up here. I love shooting the shit with everyone in the comment section below. But like I said, don't read too much into one game for Dan Quinn or Kellen Moore. They're going to have interviews this week, and they had one bad performance, from a coordinator standpoint. And I don't think you cross them off because of one bad performance. I think that's a bit of an overreaction. I do think that you look at it a little bit, but I don't think you jump in the pool of they have to be out because of this one bad performance. So that's my 2 cents on it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're putting out news and rumors content surrounding your Denver Broncos all year long. Hit that big red button, sub today, and we'll catch you later here on the Broncos Breakdown.